Hey everyone, Matt from MTG here, and today I've got another deck tech and gameplay video for you from Magic the Gathering Arena. And this is a little brew of mine, Orzhov Control, Black-White Control, and I will say it's a very, very fun deck for you to play. And it's quite powerful as well, as you'll get to see in some of the gameplay matches. So powerful that sometimes people just quit straight away. But what can you do? You can't help that. So without further ado, let's start looking at the deck. And we're starting off with the first card that is appearing on the screen for you, which is Seal Away. Seal Away is there as a 3-of. Great in this meta one, especially on MTG Arena where there's so many aggro decks. This could quite easily be 4, but you know, you've got to get your numbers right, and after obviously testing, I've settled with 3 with this. When it ends the battlefield, exile target tap creature and opponent controls. Does help stop that early aggro of these creatures coming down and attacking you really quick. There's so much red on this MTG Arena. But what can you do? It's an easy deck to put together, and it's, you know, minimal rares, and it's just very, very good. But Seal Away will certainly help you against that. As will Cast Down. We've got nice early removal in this deck, which is what I like, which is what the black-white colours will offer you. Cast Down, destroy target non-legendary creature, so it's going to hit the Chain Whirlers, you know, hit everything like that. Maybe you have to kill an early Llanowar Elves. Hit Still Live Champion. None of these are non-legendary, but still very, very good creatures. And Cast Down is in there as a 3-of. 2-of is a Moment of Craving, -2/2 until end of turn. And yeah, gain 2 life as well. Nice to have a bit of gaining life in there. I originally had Revitalize in this deck as well, but I had to make space because one of the cards that you can see on the list there, Golden Demise, has been absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So Golden Demise is definitely worth playing in your main board of these decks, just because of the way the meta is on MTG Arena. This is very, very good. And obviously, in you know, when you're playing in paper form as well, getting rid of, you know, there's a big lot of mono white weenie decks out there. Golden Demise will hit a lot of those creatures as well, and hit the mono red, and will sweep up, you know, it will sweep up potentially a Jade Light Ranger if they don't hit that interaction twice. Merfolk, Branchwalkers, Llanowar, Elves, Pyromancers. It hits so many Golden Demise that it's definitely worth its place in the main board. So yeah, like I said, it has Ascend. Only creatures your opponents control if you do have the City's Blessing, but you know, we're not really worried about that. It's not going to hit our creatures. And then we also have a 2-of a Thaumatic Compass. Thaumatic Compass is in there as a 2-of as well. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put your hand, and shuffle your library. And it also has the ability when it changes to Spires or a Vraska, you can untap a target attacking creature and opponent controls. This has been pretty good in the deck, I will say. With more testing that I'm having, I'm probably going to maybe side towards an extra Golden Demise, possibly if the meta stays the same, and maybe another Seal Away or something like that. But Thaumatic Compass has been, you know, it's done a job. It's really helped out. But it might be one of those cards that with a lot more testing might change. So if you feel like swapping this for an extra Golden Demise or a Seal Away as well, please just go ahead and do it. I won't, you won't say, oh no, don't do it, you must stay in a deck, because it's definitely one of those cards that is up in the air for me at the moment. Like I said, we do have the Golden Demise, and then we have a 2-of Ixalan's Binding in there. This is really good if you can get this on the Teferis, because what I found is the Teferi decks, although they always have that counter spell, if you do manage that odd time to get there on their Teferi, it is pretty much game winning for you, because once they get that out of the way, they haven't got much else. That's what I've found from playing against it anyway. I've milled 2 Teferi decks. Not me actually milling, but they're milling themselves. Their win cons are basically based around Teferi. So if you can actually deal with that and just keep doing it, you've got your life gain here, you're building your life up. Yeah, they might exile all your lands. But like even yesterday in testing, I was playing one of the new brews that you will see coming up, which is a budget version of Jeskai Control. So make sure you watch out for that next week. It is a real thing where they will deck themselves. Like I say, I've had it happen to me twice. And Ixalan's Bind, if you get that Teferi, sometimes they just quit. We have a 3-of Settle the Wreckage in the main board as well. Exile all attacking creatures. This is just really great. Gets those hexproof creatures, the big Carnage Tyrants, Vine Mares, anything that's really hard to deal with. Nullhide, it gets rid of that as well. And we have a 2-of Ritual of Soot that can really sweep up the mono whites, and it can sweep up the red decks without a doubt, and occasionally does get a really good hit against the mono green as well. Twilight Prophet is in there as a 2-of. Really, we've got a lot of big CMC spells, and this could really help us. Each opponent loses X life and you gain X life. This is obviously when you've got City's Blessing. It's a really sweet card, has nice stats of a 2 and 4, and is a flyer as well, so it has some evasion. We've got a 3-of Vraska's Contempt. Don't need to talk about this. Probably the best removal in Standard without a doubt. And then we've got a couple of Khans in there. Khan was a late addition to this deck. And I do sometimes like to go more of the artifact route. I have got a thematic compass in the deck, but this is just great. A format, but this does go through your deck. The +1 on this is absolutely amazing. And then if you want to make blockers, and this is another kind of win con where you can keep doing it, making the -2, making the constructs, making them bigger as well. Karnsky and Aversa, but even just for the +1 is amazing in this deck. Cleansing Nova is there as a 2 of, let's get rid of everything, destroy all creatures. If we want to get destroy all artifacts or enchantments, we can do that as well. And then we go to some great creatures. These are the creatures that we have in Orzhov Control that can win us games. Lyra Dawnbringer is in there, big 5/5, flying first strike, lifelink. Gives other angels +1/1, but we don't have any other angels other than the 2 Lyras, and they're legendary, so they're not going to both be on the field at the same time. And then we have a 3 of Doom Whisperer. The pay 2 Life Surveil 2 is really sweet. 6/6 stats, so it gets away from Lava Coil. It's just really good. Flying, trample. Bigger than a Lyra Dawnbringer if your opponent's playing them as well, which is really handy. And it only costs 5 mana, which is, absolutely epic about Doom Whisperer. The last cards in the main board are a 3 of Eldest Reborn. Loving this card. The more I play of it, it's such a great uncommon this. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker, so you can maybe get that to vary that way if you do get this onto the battlefield. The problem you do find is that they run so many counter spells that they manage to sometimes counter it. You can't beat every deck in the format, but this will stand its stand. I've won 2 against it, I've lost a few, and like I said, I've nearly managed to make a meal of themselves, but they still managed to win the game occasionally, but it has happened twice. But the Eldest Reborn is a definite good card once this goes on there that you can definitely battle with those Teferi deck. Each opponent will discard a card as the 2, and the 3 is you get the target creature or planeswalker. So if they do get to discard or put something really sweet into the graveyard, this can get it back under your control. Or we might just go get our Arcana or Doom Whisperer or Lyra if it's managed to be dealt with at the time. So we're going to have a quick look at the land base now before we get onto the gameplay. We've got 6 planes in there. We've also got 3 Memorial to Folly. This is nice for bringing back our creatures. This is why this in there is a 3 of, because we only run, the game-winning creatures are Lyra and Doom Whisperer, so it'd be good to bring these back. We've also got 7 Swamp in there as well. 4 Forsaken Santry, and I've got 2 Isolated Chapel just because that's what's in my collection at the moment, but that will be up to 4. And there's a Detection Tower, of course. It helps you against those hexproof creatures with the amount of removal we have. This is what you need in your deck. And we've got a 1 of Field of Ruin as well. So this is the deck, guys and girls. It's Orzhov Control. Lots and lots of removal. Ways to win the games. We've got Twilight Prophet as a sort of win con as well. Karn can help you go through, if not make constructs if you do need to. And then we've got the big Lyras and the big Doom Whisperer that can severely win a game very, very quick, because look at the size of them. They're so big. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on to the gameplay. There's a couple of little quick matches on there because you'll see what happens when you're playing this sort of deck sometimes on there. It's just what happens, but it'll get you your coins. That's what's good about it. But the last 2 games are very, very sweet, I will say, so make sure you stay along to the end. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the gameplay. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. So here we go for the first match. Opening hand there. We got Detection Tower, Forsaken Santry, Swamp. And we've got some nice removal there. Golden Demise, Ritual of Soot, Vraska's Contempt. And we got one of our nice sweet little creatures there, Twilight Prophet. Now I will say the first couple of games are pretty quick. It's the problem you have when you're recording gameplay is that you can be going all day sometimes when people just quit and do stuff like that. But it's still enjoyable and you get to see what the deck does and everything like that. So opponent plays a Tranquil Expanse and they got by. So I was playing green-white tokens in this first match, which tokens are an interesting deck to play against for us. We do have, obviously, a lot of removal, mass removal, Ritual of Suits and Golden Demises in our main board as well, which really does help us. But the thing with the token decks is that they just keep on coming and coming and coming, which obviously can be a problem because if they keep getting the attacks in, they eventually do go wide and try and beat you. Amara gets tapped there. I was looking at cast down, but remembering that Amara is legendary. So there is a sapling migration, so there go wide strategy for our opponent. But we got lots of mass removal in hand, so we're not too bothered about it. Golden Demise comes in, sweeps up the whole board straight away, and a Memorial to Folly comes in. We're playing our lands. Opponent does seem to be stuck on lands there, and they just quit straight away. What did I say? Golden Demise for the win in the first game. I'm really sorry that first game was really quick, but there was 2 of us that I recorded before that were even quicker than that. And And I had time to, I had to do stuff in a day, so eventually we had to put that on there. So we get our reward, and let's get on to the next match. So opening hand, we got a couple of planes there and a hell of a lot of black cards there with a Khan, Settle the Wreckage. Not really wanting to do, so I mulligan that hand and get lots of lands, but we do get a turn 2 play, and there's a Twilight Prophet there. Lyra Dawnbringer. Well, we got 4 lands in hand, so I'm going to keep that on top because, you know, we only run a few of them in the deck. There's only 2, so I don't really want to be putting 1 to the bottom. Opponent plays a forest there, double forest coming in. Merfolk Branchwalker. Explores. So even if this does manage to explore, it doesn't stay away from Golden Demise, which is one of those cards that I spoke about. Which is, just such a great sweeper at the moment, Golden Demise in this current format. So definitely put them into your decks if you're playing those colours, of course. Thaumatic Compass comes down for a turn 2 play for us. Looking right, thinking is our opponent mono green. Here comes the Llanowar Elves. And a Harpooner, and I'm thinking, well, if we draw one of our mass removals, this is going to be JG's. And look, straight off the top was a Ritual of Soot. So we got the land in play. So if our opponent overextends it, I mean, even to be honest, even with what they got on the board, I am going to Ritual of Soot. They play a Llanowar Elves. Oh, they're extending. They play a Druid of the Cowl. And I just look at that going, tasty card in my hand. I'm going to get a 5 for 1 here. Will I get the Rage Quit? What do you think? As you're watching this, is there going to be a Rage Quit in this game? Obviously, I know if there is or isn't. But, you know, opponent down to 2 cards in hand. We just go, yep, we'll take that. We'll take that. We're going to play the Swamp. Ritual of Soot comes down. 5 for 1. Sweeps up the board. Look at the removal we've got in hand. See, this is what's good about this deck. It's just like the removal in this format. Opponent just quits. Now, I kept those first 2 games in there literally because you get to see the power of the removal at the moment. So even with these small decks that have got lots of, you know, mass creatures really, really quick, we can survive. If we just get that, they will overextend sometimes because when it's a best of 1 game, they will just like attack it. You know, they put everything on the board just get ready to attack, get a quick win. But our, you know, removal is so good that it will make them quick like that, and you'll pick up some easy wins. Trust me, guys and girls. So on to game 3. We got a for Folly there. We got a Plains. We got a Forsaken Sanctuary. It's a pretty nice hand, to be honest. Forsaken Sanctuary obviously comes in tapped, so it's a memorial to Folly. But then we lead into like a Golden Demise potentially as well. Draw another land. We got Khans. We got Vraskas. It's a pretty sweet hand. Opponent says hello. Now, the hand might be a little bit too slow for red, but we'll have to wait and see. We've got Golden Demise, which would be a very, very strong card there. And we've also got Cast Down, which is nice. Pyromancer comes in, does its 2 damage to us. So they've got an ability to hit Khans straight away when that comes in, which is a nice... Pyromancer is a very, very sweet card. Ritual of Soot is a very sweet card. We're going to pass turn. We're not going to go in with the Demise just yet. We're going to hopefully get a little bit more value. Fanatical Firebrand comes in. Hoping they would overextend a little bit, but they didn't. They didn't do a little bit more. So took 4 there, which did put me to 12. Maybe I should have gone off, you know, thinking about it. But I'm going to get, you know, I was thinking maybe I should have, but it's all right thinking after the game what you should do this. My play was to obviously get Golden Demise down and get a bit of value, which is what I do now. But we are on 10 life. Golden Demise comes down, sweeps the board, leaves them with 2 cards in hand. And, we've got a pretty good hand here, but we know how good the red can be. That card there is very, very good. It's found since playing against it. Experimental Frenzy is a sweet, sweet card. We're going to play Khan now. Yes, Khan. Couple of sweet cards there. Opponent's obviously going to put the Thaumatic Compass, I think, in our hand here. Why would they give us a big Doom Whisperer? Even though we don't have the land there, they obviously think that we could have the land. But Thaumatic can get you the land, which is what's good about that. Our Runaway Stinking comes down. Plus up the Khan again. This is what I say, it's so good. Just going through your deck. Going to get a Swamp here, which is nice because we needed that Swamp. Now I play here, thinking about what to do. Lyra Dawnbringer to me was probably the better choice, thinking about it after the game, because I should have got the 5/5 down. I decided to go the route of, gaining a little bit of life, get the Thaumatic Compass down. Opponent only had 2 cards in hand, but Lyra Dawnbringer was definitely the move that I should have played there. So getting a big 5/5 down with lifelink, it was just an absolutely stupid move, and I definitely think it hurt me in this matchup without a doubt. As you can see by the multiple shocks and damage that I'm taking, Goblin Chainwhirler comes down, does more damage. Lava Runner's up to 2 now, puts me down. So, Lyra Dawnbringer, by me not playing that, as potentially cost me the game. I mean, I'm on 4 life now, under the cost, 5 power on board. Vraska's Contempt can gain me a little bit more life, but if they've got 2 lightning strikes in hand, it's just GG's. So I decided to make a construct with Khan to give me a blocker, and then go down with a Lyra now. Probably, the turn's too late, but, we're on 4 life. We're still dead to 2 lightning strikes, so I could have been attacking with the Lyra, which was, would have been a lot more helpful. But potentially I've got a blocker there that can gain me 5 life as well. And the little construct can help, obviously, block as well. Runaway Steam King comes in. Opponent has 4 cards in hand now. But obviously with a Frenzy down, they can play cards from the top. Opponent said good game there, which sort of threw me thinking, well, have they just won? PRY? Are they just being, really cocky? So they destroy their Experiment Frenzy. 4 cards in hand. Still thinking, why did they say good game? Unless they were just, ultra confident. Obviously, I block here because, I'm thinking, well, maybe they've got a shock. Possibly, but I do need to block. I'm on 4 life. I need to block. So, unfortunately, I still get the life, which is cool. Up to 9 life. We got Vraska's Contempt now, Eldest Reborn. Golden Demise I choose to do because I need to get rid of the creatures on the board. Puts him still with 2 cards in hand. I'm still feeling pretty confident about this match, I must say. Obviously, we get the land there. And we just pass the turn over. Thaumatic Compass flips now, which is going to help us with an attacker with haste or anything like that. We'll be able to take it away from, from attacking, which is really good about what Thaumatic Compass does for us. Lightning Strike comes in, unfortunately, down to 6 life. The Frenzy comes back in again, which means they can play cards from the top of their library, but not from their hand. Twilight Prophet comes down. Now, this would be good because we could potentially gain some life, which is really what we need because we've got City's Blessing. Khan's going to do its thing now. We're going to make a construct, get a little 1/1. Now, worst ways here, we'll have, we potentially might have to Vraska's Contempt our own creature, which is, a thing that we may have to do. But I do play a Runaway Steamkin even. Let's get the name right, shall we? Lightning Strike comes in again. 3 more damage. So in case they got something else there, I'm going to actually Vraska's Contempt that to gain some life. Back up to 8 life, but we're going to be taking 3 damage here, down to 5. And we really need a good hit off Twilight Prophet. Unfortunately, it was a swamp, which is terrible for us. Absolutely terrible. So we can go get back our Lyra. Put Lyra on the board. If we manage to get a bit of life of that, potentially that is our game-winning move now, because 1 bit of life gain to get us back up to 10 is going to make it hard for the opponent to actually get in and, get that bit of damage in when they're just playing like they are with a Frenzy on the board. Cleansing Nova is nice. But we're going to get the, we get Cleansing Nova. But we didn't have the double white mana to get rid of the Frenzy, which was a bit annoying. So we play Eldest Reborn to make him discard the card. Potentially we can get another creature on the board as well. No attacks, just in case. Doesn't do us any favours there. Opponent draws a card, but they obviously still got the Frenzy in hand. They get a shock. Lava comes in. And opponent says, good game again. So I'm thinking maybe this time I have lost. And it was a Wizard's Lightning. Now, unfortunately, that was a really good match. Opponent played very well there. I didn't play as well as I like to there. I feel like if I'd have got that Lyra down earlier, it may have made a difference to the game, potentially. So, yeah, played that one a little bit wrong. But we're going to get on to the last game. Another great game for you to watch now. So, on to the final game. We got 3 swamps there. Thaumatic Compass, Doom Whisperer, Settle the Wreckage, Cleansing Nova. I keep that slightly sketchy hand because I got a Thaumatic Compass there, which means I can go and search for the planes if I need. And we're playing red again. So a chance to redeem myself, if possible. Swamp comes down, Thaumatic Compass comes down as a turn 2 play for us, and we're just going to hope that we're not going to get too aggroed out here. We need land. Opponent plays a Lava Runner, coming in for the 1, attacks in. Forsaken Sanctuary is a nice draw for us there. It's our first white source that we wanted. We do have Thaumatic Compass there. I was just checking that it does cost 3 to tap and obviously search for the land. So what I was saying at the start about Thaumatic Compass, possibly one of the cards that will change from the deck. It's been okay, but it's not been brilliant. I'd probably prefer another Demise or something like that rather than that. Possibly an extra land as well. Possibly. I'm not too sure about land. I don't seem to be struggling for land, but... So we're going to pass turn here. Goblin Chain Whirler, Lava Runner, and Fireband on there. So potentially that's 3, 4, 5 damage. Puts us to 10. Lava Runner may get pumped. Attacks all in. So I'm going to Vraska the Chain Whirler because I want to gain a little bit of life. Go to 17, but then take 2, obviously. Gain some life. Exile the Chain Whirler. Back to 15. And then another Chain Whirler enters the battlefield. We'll draw our second Cleansing Nova. Not really what we want to draw. But hey, we're not in charge of the cards that get put into our hands. I'm going to search here because I need to go and get that planes, which means I can still play the planes and then still have Cast Down up, which is good enough to kill the Chain Whirler again, and then can lead me into a Cleansing Nova or a Doom Whisperer. Obviously worried about my life total here after playing against red in the previous game. I'm just going to, not play around it and not try and get total value. I just want to preserve my life. Take 2 down to 12. In comes a third Chain Whirler. We got Khan there, but now you're just leading. We're going to get a little bit of value. Cleansing Nova comes in, destroys all, so we save ourselves some life total. Opponent, for a red deck, still has 5 cards in hand, but they are stuck on 3 lands at the moment, so we're not going to complain about that. A lot of their deck is low mana cost. In comes a Wizard's Lightning in their main phase. Very strange. No counter spells. In comes a Doom Whisperer, but we can't really surveil, which is the problem, because we're on 8 life. Opponent finds their 4th land. We need to get Khan on and start drawing some cards. We've got another Cleansing Nova in case they mass, we have to do a mass wipe, but we've got to Settle the Wreckage as well. Thaumatic Compass will flip soon. Lightning Strike comes in for more damage to the dome. 5. We're down to 5. It's getting very close. If they have another Lightning Strike in now, we're down to 2. So there's definitely no surveilling going on with Doom Whisperer. Forsaken Sanctuary. Time to play Khan, I think. We're going to attack in because we've got a, Settle the Wreckage. Khan comes in. So we get to reveal some cards. We do make a little contract because we do want a blocker. Unfortunately, it goes straight down to a 1-1. So, if they find their next Chain Whirler, which is a possibility, we lose our blocker. But obviously, they won't attack with a Chain Whirler. So we're not too worried about that. It hasn't got haste. More worried about our 5 life total. That quickly becomes 2. So we've got a Moment of Craving there, which is, that is potentially a game saver there. Because if they do have that Lightning Strike, we can kill one of our creatures, gain 2 life, go to 4. But if they've got 2 kill spells in their hand, 2 burn spells, then, you know, out of the 3 cards, we're just dead. So we get Ixalan's Binding. We're going to attack in because, you know, that's a 2-turn clock now. They're down to 7. It's our chance. We're on 2 life. We have to take that risk. Pyromancer comes in, which does the 2 damage. So we're going to have to Moment's Craving our own creature here. Now, potentially I could have just done Doom Whisperer. But if they had a Lava Coil in hand, that would have been GG's for the Doom Whisperer, which is why I took rid of the little construct. Flame Curl comes in. We do not want them drawing cards. They have to discard their hand now. But we have an Ixalan's Binding in there, which means we can get rid of that and they're not going to be drawing those cards, which is really good for us. We can't obviously... Twilight Prophet comes in, so that gives us a blocker as well. Reveal the top cards. We're going to get the land. We're not going to get Seal Away. Surely. Get the land. We will play our land. Play the Prophet, which potentially can help us with life. We've got the City's Blessing. So I'm going to attack in, put our opponent to 1. We're on 2. Oh, what an epic match. So close. Ixalan's Binding is the play now because we do not want them drawing 2 extra cards to give them 3 cards, which actually gives them potentially the win. So we can get rid of the Flame Curl with our Binding. They can't play anymore. Opponent on 1 life. We've got a 2/4 blocker. And redemption. Redemption for the deck. The Orzhov. We actually got it back and beat the red deck. I was happy about that because potentially we could have won that game 3. But game 4 was a very, very good win for us. Very good win. So guys and girls, that is some Orzhov Control gameplay. I really hope you like the deck. You know, let me know what you think. Think about any changes we could add to the deck. Obviously, added in those 2 extra lands. The Isolated Chappers is something that I just say put into your deck. It's just like having it. You know what it's like. I'm grinding away to actually finish the deck. Well, I didn't want to hold back on the gameplay just till I had those 2 rares. So I just wanted to get it out. And it just proves that it's still very good, even with those tapped lands. Maybe in game 3, played a few little misplays, but definitely game 4, redemption, got it back, beat the red deck, which is very good for a control deck to beat these speedy decks. The first 2 games, you can see just how powerful. If you do mass removal, people generally will just quit. They can't come back for it. They're then top drawing, doing stuff like that. So I wanted to keep them in there just to show, you know, how the deck plays and how powerful it can be if you can get those turn 3, turn 4s. If you want to take Thaumatic Compass out, I'm an R in. You know, I'm thinking an extra Golden Demise will be better for me. So potentially that is a change as well. Anyway, guys, don't forget to, if you are new to us, hit that subscribe button. It really does help. I'm going to get lots more gameplay and deck techs out for you, hopefully in the next few weeks, as always. If you like what you see, hit the like button. It helps inspire me to make lots more videos for you. Next week, we've got a couple of nice brews coming to you. Going to try and get some gameplay. I managed to put together the Jesky budget version control deck on MTG ARENA, so you're going to get some gameplay for that. And it's a good way to start out. You know, that deck is like $500. And I've got a good little version that will help you start with it and maybe build up to it if you potentially do want to build that sort of deck. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for taking the time to watch the video, and I will see you on next week's videos.